What's up, guys? Rob from Legit Brandon Gaming here, bringing you another episode of our Tiercember series. I apologize for this one being a little bit late, but I quite frankly forgot to record this. Well, not I forgot. I was slammed busy last weekend and was busy yesterday after I came home from work. So yes, I am recording this on Christmas Eve before I go and hang out with my family. So if you are celebrating Christmas, or I believe Hanukkah starts tomorrow on the 25th, happy holidays. And if you are not celebrating anything this week, well, I just hope you're having a good week and a good Tuesday and Wednesday and all that fun stuff. So we're going to be doing... Oh, and I also want to apologize if I sound a bit nasally. I've been congested for like a week and a half at this point. I don't know why. Whenever I get congested for any reason, it just takes me forever to actually shake off the congestion. So I get congested for like weeks at a time. It's very annoying because I was never actually even sick. I never had a fever. I didn't have COVID or anything. I just got congested. I think it's because the weather here has been kind of all over the damn place. Like it was in the teens the other day after it was like in the 50s at one point last week. So just kind of all over the place. But anyway, so I apologize for the way my voice sounds. In the background, we just have some lo-fi winter melodies and cozy winter evening tracks in a playlist that I found on YouTube, so shout out to that playlist. And yeah, we're gonna be doing some Christmas foods. This is not an exhaustive list, obviously, but these are the Christmas foods that typically my family has around the holidays. So yeah, this is just kind of what I'm used to, and so we're gonna be talking about that. So we'll just go down the order that they spawned in here, and so starting with apple pie. I'm kind of in between B and C on apple pie. I like it, but it's not my favorite. It's like I slightly like it, so this is probably going to end up moving. I'm going to leave it at high C, I think. This might move down to low B, but it's kind of like in that neutral zone. I enjoy it. If it's there, I'll have some, but generally it's not really one I kind of go out of my way to have for the most part. So yeah, we're going to leave that at C there. Turkey. Again, turkey's kind of mid, to be honest. Like, I don't eat turkey basically at any point that isn't Thanksgiving or Christmas, except for, like, you know, I do have a recipe from my mom for turkey burgers, which are pretty good, and like turkey loaf, which is really, really nice. But this like form of turkey, where it's just a bird and you roast it and you know, you cut it up, it's okay. If you don't have gravy, it's clipped. Like, you can't. I'm not signing up for gravy for turkey with no gravy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Not like the biggest fan of turkey ever, but it's good. You know, it's nice, I guess. Twice a year. Sweet potatoes. I think some people call this style of sweet potatoes with the sweet potatoes with the marshmallows sweet potato casserole, maybe. Either way, it's really good. I love sweet potatoes a lot with the marshmallows. Again, it's the kind of thing that I don't really have throughout the year. I don't really know why, because I like it a lot. I just think maybe my mind just associates it with like the festive holiday period, so I just don't really even think to like ever get it or make it elsewise. But it is really good. You have the nice, like, you have the sweetness of the potato with a little bit of the sweetness of like a sweet potato is kind of like a bland sweetness. And so you elevate that with a little bit of the roasted marshmallow on top. Very good. Chocolate chip cookies, of course, a staple. You have to leave these out for Santa Claus. Absolutely S tier. I'm a big, ooh, voice crack. Whoa. It is early. I do apologize. I'm drinking my tea. And my throat's a little bit messed up because of all the congestion. But I'm a big cookie guy. I love cookies. Everyone that knows me knows that's basically my favorite kind of dessert. So a nice chocolate chip cookie, especially if it's like this style that's shown in the picture where it's like nice and baked, kind of soft baked, but still a little bit of snap on it, with some melted chocolate chips. Absolutely fantastic. Dinner rolls. Usually we just like, again with the voice crack. Well, hold on. All right, give me a sec. I'm gonna take a sip of tea here. Dinner rolls. We usually just glaze it with some butter. Pretty good. I actually like dinner rolls a lot, especially if they're like the kind that we usually get are a little bit sweet. Like if you do those like Hawaiian rolls almost, put a little bit of butter on top, maybe some garlic if you're feeling fancy. But as long as they're like soft and flaky, it's honestly like the perfect side. Like a nice dinner roll, it can really elevate an entire meal. It's why they're so popular in the South. I know the South really likes their rolls. Well, they do more biscuits than rolls, but you know, the bread side type thing. Candy canes are alright. They're probably going to shift down to the low end of B tier. They're the kind of thing that you like kind of have on its own almost, because like peppermint is such a strong flavor, and it kind of lingers in your mouth for a while afterwards. You know, like after you brush your teeth with like a mint toothpaste, right? I like them, but again, peppermint is not really the sort of flavor that I seek out throughout the year. I know that some people like peppermint breath mints and stuff like that. Not really something that I'm super duper into. So they're definitely a holiday thing, but they're good. Yeah, so mac and cheese, of course, is going to be an S tier food. I mean, there's so many different ways to do mac and cheese, and yeah, you can do mac and cheese in ways that are better than others, but honestly, even like a mediocre, like mid mac and cheese is still really good. You have to go out of your way to mess up mac and cheese. Honestly, you really have to do something like real crazy, I think, to fumble the bag on mac and cheese. So especially if it's baked mac and cheese. If you got baked mac and cheese at the function, oh my god, I'll be at that table all day. Apple cider, I love apple cider a lot, especially hot apple cider. That's the thing. Cold apple cider is okay, kind of just tastes like apple juice. I feel like when you get hot apple cider, it really elevates a lot of like the subtle like flavor differences and the spices that they use in apple ciders to make it different. Hot apple cider is definitely the way to go, and it's one of my favorite holiday beverages. When I go into New York City to go to the Bryant Park Christmas shops, there's a little stand that does hot apple cider donuts and hot apple cider, and I get that every year when I go in, because I don't know if this is just the kind of flavors they use in their apple cider or whatever, but it's absolutely fantastic. So great beverage there. Ham, again, another one of these kind of mid. I feel like the mains at a lot of holidays are not where it's at. It's the sides where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that might not be the case for every family. Like, I have a friend of mine who, for Thanksgiving, her family does tamales, and they're absolutely delicious. And so, like, the main kind of sings in that plate. But as far as, like, you know, my family's kind of just typical and traditional with a lot of like foods around the holidays, so I feel like the mains are not really the main, you know, event when it comes to a lot of holiday foods. I'm gonna put ham here. It's all right. Eggnog, I love eggnog a lot. I really do. I only drink it obviously around this time of year, and I don't drink, so it's non-alcoholic. So maybe you guys have a different relationship with eggnog. If you prefer like the alcoholic kind, I've never even had it, but I love the taste of eggnog, and I get excited every year. I actually have a carton in my fridge at the moment when it comes around. So again, it's not the kind of thing I drink year round because it's not good for you. It's like really bad for you. It's a lot of fat and sugar and all that stuff, but it's it's a very polarizing flavor, and I recognize that. I know that some people really dislike it, like strongly dislike it, and I completely understand why. It's a very thick beverage. The texture can be a bit off-putting. I don't even know how to describe the flavor other than it's eggnog. You know, I don't really know how to describe it very well. It's like blunt almost, if food can be blunt. And so I get why a lot of people don't like it, but I enjoy it very much. Especially if you dust some like a little cinnamon on top. Yeah. Jellied cranberry. Not a fan. Not a fan. I like cranberry juice, but cranberry juice has to be served like ice cold for me to enjoy it. Like I'm talking like you load that shit up with ice cubes to the top. Not a fan of even like room temp cranberry juice, and this is basically just room temp cranberry juice, but like in a big log. Not a fan. Gingerbread cookies. I'm not a huge fan of the flavor of gingerbread. I'll be honest. Not the biggest fan of the gingerbread flavors. I'll eat them if it's like the only thing there. I would prefer like almost anything else to a gingerbread cookie though. I like making gingerbread houses. It's fun. I just don't really typically eat it after because I'm not a huge fan of gingerbread. But, you know. It's got like a weird like texture to it too. You know? Like it's layered almost. I don't know how to describe it, but it almost feels like eating cardboard. Yeah. Hot chocolate. I do like hot chocolate a fair bit. I'm gonna put this down in A. Hot chocolate, obviously, you have to make it with milk if you're doing it right. If you're doing it with water, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're using the powder. Make it with the milk, get yourself some whipped cream, get yourself some marshmallows. It is fantastic. It's stupid rich, and so you know, you might be laid out on the couch for a little bit. You know, it kind of, you gotta pace yourself. You know, if you drink too fast, you might upset your stomach. But it's a great beverage to have when it's nice and cold out, and you just kind of sip away and enjoy yourself. Got mashed potatoes down here. Love me some mashed potatoes, especially if you get a little bit of like that seasoning, like in this picture with some butter. Ooh, put some gravy on it too. That's the key. I love gravy, so you gotta have some gravy on the mashed potatoes. Definitely prefer mashed potatoes to sweet potatoes, but not by that much. They're both really, really good options. Obviously, mashed potatoes are more of a thing that you kind of have year round, especially if you go out to like a steak restaurant or like a fancy or, you know, like beef place. Usually mashed potatoes will be available as a side. Or if you're down in the South, maybe get some grits type thing, which is kind of similar, but it's not the same thing. I'm well aware it's not the same thing. But yeah, mashed potatoes, great side. It's a great blanket for other flavors. You know, you get your mashed potatoes, you put maybe a little bit of spice in it, maybe some butter, you put some gravy on top. You know, it receives other flavors well. Maybe put some garlic in there. You know, yeah. And stuffing, I love stuffing. I really do. I love stuffing. It's by far my favorite part of the Thanksgiving plate and Christmas plate is the stuffing. I should have more stuffing in my life. I like the stuffing that's kind of like this style where there's not too big of the chunks of vegetables. Like if you get too many like celery chunks and stuff, it can kind of throw off the flavor a little bit. But if you have something nice like this where the vegetables are kind of integrated into the stuffing a little bit more finely to distribute that flavor throughout it, it's yeah. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. I'm really excited to have some stuffing later at my family get together. So yeah, definitely a big stuffing guy. So this is gonna be the list. Like, you know, I don't actually really dislike anything that's in C and up. I'll eat. I don't really actively avoid anything except for maybe like cranberry sauce. I'm a big fan of a lot of the stuff my family traditionally has for the holidays. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little silly tier list. We'll be doing one more tier list next week to end off Tiercember. So if you have any ideas for what that tier list should be, let me know down in the comments, and let me know what your family's kind of traditional Thanksgiving, Christmas kind of foods are, and what your favorites are. So I hope to see you guys again next time.